In the words of the great theologian John Lennon, and so this is Christmas, and what have you done? Another year over, and a new one's just begun. Wow, how did we get here? Is anybody else's head spinning when you realize we are done with this? Heading to the next one. We're at this weird blackout week, and there are so many people talking on social media right now about that. Nobody ever remembers what happens between Christmas and New Year's. It's like hearing the emergency broadcast tone, right? Just woo, no, it's just gone. How many of you are already flipping out because you realize what's going to happen in a couple of days, and you've got work to do, and you have things scheduled, and it's the new year, you had stuff you have to get done? How many are already into next week in your brain? Yeah. It's a lot. How many of you actually have no idea how you got here this morning? So because of everything I just said. Yeah, that's okay. I'm glad you're here. Hey, my name is Todd. I'm usually with the little people across the way, and every once in a while I get let out. And don't worry if you have children over there and you're wondering, well, what about them? Last week we did a lesson on responsibility. Thank you. That didn't go over so well in the first crowd. So like 3 people got up and left immediately. Go find their kids. And I'm super glad to be here. This is a big year of transition for me and my family. We're new here. If you're new here, welcome. We'll figure it out together. This is one of my favorite weeks of the year, and it's blank space for a lot of people, but I actually love it. Because this is the one time of year I actually like to watch TV, and here's why. I love end-of-the-year reviews. And if you have insomnia, late at night, all the networks have them. They're like, we're going to recap, and you can name it. There's shows for days. It can be everything from what was happening politically, socially, across. There's one on just food, our very best food stuff for the last decade. It's just great. Yes, praise the Lord. There's a foodie back there. And I just love reviewing to see what the year was known for. It's a big deal for me. And I am easy to please. I only ask for one thing every Christmas from my family. If they ask, say, what is it that you really want? I've always had the same answer. In some years, I get it. It's a photo album from our year. They're super easy to make now. I think you can make them from your phone. Press a button, they send you a book. It's fantastic. But here's why. My kids grow up so ridiculously fast. It was about 1.5 years ago, I had my firstborn, who's now in college, right? And the years go by so quick. The days are so slow, but the years are so quick. I was told something when I was little, it made no sense to me, that said the years are faster than the days. And every year I get older, that makes a little more sense to me. They're just gone. And because we remember moments, not days, we have a tendency to place in our heads what a time frame in our lives was known for, right? So here's my question for you, and this is a maddening year that just happened. What is 2019 known for? This has been a mind-blowing last 12 months. So much has happened, and it seems like the pace of the world has just gone through the roof. It's so much, if you are into any sort of media at all, it's overwhelming. It's like my brain space can't even contain what is happening everywhere, much less just here in our own country, right? Now, let's make it a little more personal. What about your own house? What is this year known for in your own home, right? And we've had some great times, I'm sure. We've had some rough times. Some people in here have dealt with major change. Maybe it's a job. Maybe you changed where you were living. Maybe you've had a loss. Maybe you've had an addition. Maybe you have new in-laws, a new baby, a new neighbor, something. But there's been change, and some of those have impacted you in some way, shape, or form. So what is it that this year is known for to you? And then we can make it actually even a little more personal. So what is in your headspace? How did you grow? How did you change this year? What are you known for inside of you? What do you think you've done for you this year? Now, we're talking about being known today, and my definition of known is pretty tough. It means generally recognized. Generally recognized. So every time I use that word, that's what I'm referring to. Every year, this is not a sales pitch. I'm not getting any money off of this. Every year, I get Time's Year in Review, and I keep them for my kids, because eventually one day they will be my age, and they'll be able to look back and see what each of their years were known for. And when you go through here, it's just that when you take the time to look back, you're like, oh yeah, that happened. And you remember. And one thing that we aren't super great at necessarily all the time is reflecting and looking back about the things that have changed us. We get so caught up in the right here and right now, which is important. You need to live in the moment. But when we get to the point where we're not thinking, considering how we got to where we got, then we have a hard time planning about where we should be going next. Does that make sense? It's a life roadmap. And we're all known for something, and that's what we're digging into today. Now, I want to step back from the global part right now. The world is known for things. We've had some ups and downs, some scary times. We've had some great triumphs this year as a people. But I want to back it up now to individuals, because individuals, including you, are known for things. Now, some of you didn't come in here this morning thinking that you are known for something, but you are. That can be scary or that can be exciting, depending on how your year went so far. But let's talk about some individuals. I'm going to prove my point about everybody being known. We're going to play a game. Everybody take a deep breath. It's okay to have fun in church. So I'm going to put up some people, and I want you to tell me what they're known for. You ready? There's thousands of cash and prizes at stake for the winners, by the way. Here's our first person. Who is this? Hugh Jackman, and you just proved my point. When Trina and I go and do married people conferences at places, we actually use this picture because this is one of the biggest stressors in marriage. It causes divides. The biggest stressors in marriage can be finances, it can be in-laws, and Hugh Jackman's one of them, and here's why. And you just proved it, because I said, what's he famous for? The guys in the room said, Wolverine. They even said it with their deep voices. And from my point of view, you missed it. From my point of view, some guys sat up straight. Yeah, maybe the first thing some of the guys paid attention to in church so far. Yeah, Wolverine, he beats people, things blow up, it's great. But the ladies, including my wife, said, the Wolver what? That man is the greatest showman. He sings, he dances, he acts, and he's beautiful. Again, we use these at married people conferences because, yeah, he's famous for that stuff. Did you also know he's known for being a really great philanthropist? He invests a ton of his own money, a ton of his own time, a ton of his own hands, where he and his wife are helping coffee growers have a new life. And he's really into investing in communities that have needs, and he won't work with them unless they do. And so that's what he's known for in some circles. And by the way, the best cup of coffee I've ever had in my life is from his coffee company. I'm not getting paid for that one either. I do sound like a bit of a commercial. Here's my next one. This is one of my favorites. Who is this? It's okay to talk. There's so many people whispering. Yeah, it's Rosa Parks. And I did this. I hesitate to share this story because my children are in here. When we had to write a historical paper at school, mine was always on Rosa Parks. Number one, because I felt like I totally connected with her. I was somebody that did not have a lot of friends, and I felt in isolation, and I felt there's something inside me that said I always need to do something. The second thing is I wrote a really good paper around the 6th grade. And so when we had to keep doing these papers, I just saved it and kept turning it in over and over. And it was awesome. So she's a hero for multiple reasons. And I ended up doing a lot of these studies. We were taught in school that she worked a very long day and felt too tired to stand up and so wouldn't on that bus. That's not true. When she's interviewed about it, she said, I wasn't tired in my body, it was my spirit. And I was tired and I was done. How awesome is that? And what she is known for changed our country. Here's my next one. Who's this? What's he known for? I put this one up to find out how old you people are. Because I just heard it too. Some people said, well, he was an actor. And then I heard some people go, he was a what? And some people said, well, he was a president. And we're going down the line. He was all those things. And he was really great. He was known globally for some incredible things, right? He changed politics on a worldwide scale. And somehow the man did it with a smile. And he convinced other world leaders who did not think like we do to change their policies, change everything they do, and thank him for it and have no idea how. That is amazing. And he did some pretty good stuff with our economics. We miss him. Here's my next one. This one's fun. Who is this? Bono. What's he known for? Singing, lead singer of U2. Yeah, they're legendary. He's also one of the greatest philanthropists of his time. And he's one guy who's known for some reason, this guy has a free pass to any country, any government, and any political world leader, good, bad, or otherwise. He's always going and sitting down with these world leaders. I don't know how he gets in, but he does. It's phenomenal. If you hadn't read his biography and the things that he does when he's not singing, it's amazing. He's decided to make it his single goal to try to wipe out the AIDS crisis. He's done a phenomenal job. So he's known for other things, not just the first thing that come up in our heads. Here's one for you. The 70s. This was fun for me because some of you just chuckled. Some made awkward looks down at their feet and trying not to make eye contact. How were the 70s? Anybody have any good pictures from this era, by the way? I have never seen a group of people raise their hands down here so much in my entire life. Yeah, the 70s, that was loads of fun. For you young people, it really existed. It's not just a day at school when you're celebrating. This is a real thing. Real people made it through it. It was something. Here's my best one. This is my most important picture I'm going to throw up today. And I want you to ponder this. What is this person known for? What is this person known for? Let's just scale it down. Looking back at 2019, just this year, what do you think that you are known for? We don't think about that a lot, do we? And it can be intimidating when we start to ponder it. But here's the truth, whatever it is, it has something to do with your character. It may be an incident, may have been something you accomplished, may have been a thing, but it all leads back to our character in one way, shape, or form. So what are you known for from this last year? And here's the truth that makes that a little bit heavy. It's people will forget what you say and people will forget what you do, but they will never forget how you made them feel. This is true with your kids. It's true with your coworkers. It's true with the people sitting next to you right now. So we are known for something. Some of those are good things. Some of those are not so good things. Maybe you're going to look back on your year and think, I wasn't super great with my finances, or I wasn't really patient with the people around me, or I didn't really, but it can be some great things too. But everybody in here is known for something. And here's what we failed to do. We failed to be known intentionally. We failed to be known on purpose. But we actually have the power to do that. You see, you decide every day what you'll be known for by how you choose to respond to the people and the world around you. You actually decide what you're going to be known for. Whatever you thought when I said, what were you known for this last year in 2019, that was your decision because you're in charge of your behavior. You're in charge of your words. You're in charge of your actions. And that's really great news for the future, is that you actually do get to decide when 2020 rolls around what you're going to be known for that year by how you choose to respond to the people and the world around you. Now, this isn't a new thing. We were actually created to be known. Everybody in here, we were created to be known. We are not meant to live in solitary confinement. And it starts from before you were actually here. We are all known by God. Psalm 139:13 says this, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb." God knows you. You're the only person with your thumbprint for a reason. And he made you exactly the you that you're supposed to be. And we spend so much time trying to correct who we are and who we were made to be, instead of just running with it. Because we're all gifted in some really neat ways that work well with the ways other people are gifted. But we're known very much so. And that's sort of humbling when you stop to think that you are incredibly known from your inmost being, everything about you by God, the one who created everything. And he cares about his creations. That would be you. So we're known by God. We're also created to be known by others. We're created to be known by others. It's the deep longing of the soul. God said from the very beginning, it is not good for man to be alone. Being known is actually the opposite of being alone. I mean that physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Being known is the opposite of being alone. It's not good for us to be without being known. Lastly, what we're known for actually matters. This is where the rubber meets the road for a minute. What we're known for actually matters because you matter and you have an impact on the people around you. This has been going on for history. The only reason you know people of the past is because they were known for something. And it's all through scripture too. I picked 2 verses. There were a ton. Acts 6:3 says, brothers and sisters, choose 7 men from among you who are known to be full of the Spirit and wisdom. We'll turn this responsibility over to them. The responsibility that they're talking about was part of the beginning of the New Testament church. The reason you're sitting here right now. The people who started it, they picked people who had a reputation, meaning they were known for something. They were known for doing well. 1 Timothy 5:9-10, they're talking about, this is again, the church was dividing things about how they can go and help. It said, no widow may be put on the list of widows unless she is over 60, has been faithful to her husband, and is well known for, check this out, her good deeds, such as bringing up children, showing hospitality, washing the feet of the Lord's people, helping those in trouble, and devoting herself to all kinds of what? Good deeds. See, we'll be known for something. Eventually your time will pass, but even right here, right now, we will be known for something. How do I know? Because everyone in here is a neighbor, or you're a son, you're a daughter, you're a parent, you're a grandparent, you're a coworker, you're a leader, you're somebody who drives next to other people in traffic, you're somebody who's here part of this church. If you're around people, you impact people, and you're known for something. The kids in your neighborhood call you something. You may be that guy who, or that lady who, maybe it's never comes out and talks. You're known by the other people in this church. You know, our teens, as they're running around through our lobbies and things, they see you, and they're gonna know you for being that person who either looks annoyed that they're there, or who smiles back and asks them how they're doing, because we're happy they're part of our community. And teens, adults think the same way of you. We're known because we have impact, because we're around people. And so it matters. We'll be known for something. So here's 3 questions for you to ponder. First one is this: what were you known for? What were you known for this last year? Now, if you don't know the answer to that, here's the way to find out. You ready? Ask someone. This could be dangerous. Now, just ask the people around you. Say, hey, if you were to write something on my tombstone, it had to be quick because they're not that big. What would it be? Todd was what? Insert your name. Now, here's where it gets sketch. If you ask the people close to you, say, hey, how would you describe me? What am I known for? And they start stuttering, or they stop making eye contact with you, or they start looking at their watch, or if they excuse themselves, then you may need to rethink your 2020 plan on what you could be known for. But the good news, again, is that we get to choose what we're known for by how we decide to respond to the people in the world around us, yes? Question number 2, what are you known for usually? Like right now in general, what are you known for? Give yourself a label. You know you. You've been hanging out with you for a while now, yes? Say, I'm the person who, describe it. And this whole talk came from a year for me that was known as a year of funerals. I had a ridiculous amount of funerals I both attended and preached at, from young people all the way to great-great-grandparents. Some people I knew very well. Some were in my own family. Some were not. And everything went back to this. The stories were what they were known for. Not from upstage. I personally don't care at all what they're going to say about me from a podium after I die. And I don't really give a whole lot of value if I'm sitting out there watching somebody give a eulogy. The stuff that matters are the conversations that are happening out there, right? The conversations that happen in the parking lot. And as they're gathering and talking about, and they're trying to work through their grief, but all they're doing, we share stories of what the person was known for, right? Here's where the real conversations happen. What are they going to say about us? That really just hammered me one year. And I spent some time reflecting and go, I don't want to be known for what I'm known for now. It hit me. I want to be famous at my house for not providing, but for being more fun. For not getting the job done, but for loving well. For not making the kids behave, but for making them smile, right? I want to be known by my wife differently. I want to be the guy that was like her biggest cheerleader. I want to be known differently to the kids in my neighborhood other than get off my lawn. I want to be known as the guy at work who actually encouraged encourages other people to do better and help them do better at their job, not just the one who clocks in and clocks out at 40 hours, period. I wanted to be known for something different. So I actually made a list. Things I want to be known for. I'm trying to work on it. Some days I'm great at it, some days I'm not. Here's the fun part. What do you want to be known for? What do you? Because you have absolute control over this for your future. Remember? You decide every day what you want to be known for by how you choose to respond to the people in the world around you. So 2020, if what you think for your past was not what you want to be known for, then why don't you redesign your story? Because we're known for our current moments, whatever we decide to do, that's what leaves the impact, right? So every act of kindness, every act that spurs somebody on to a good thing is a game changer. And we can actually redefine what we're known for as individuals and as a people group. And this is actually what the church is supposed to be about. We're supposed to be known for something. And it's not what we're known for culturally right now. And why does this matter? This matters because this is the litmus test, if you're a Christ follower or not, or whether you mean it. Jesus said something very interesting one day, and for some reason we can't wrap our heads around it still, and it's been years. John 13:35, by this everyone will know that you're my disciples, if you love one another. Period. There's not a list after that. It says, if you love one another. And now the verse right before it makes it even more interesting for me. It says, a new command I give to you. Like, this is gonna blow your minds. Y'all ready? I know we have all these laws, we have all these rules, we have all these regulations. Y'all study hard, you show up, you do what you're supposed to, you're clocking in, you're clocking out. That's fantastic. But here's a new one. You ready? You've never heard this before. This is going to change everything. Love people. Can you imagine the silence after that? Wait, what? That's really that's our filter. Friends, if you're a Christ follower, you should be known for that one thing. That should come out first, is that they love well. Now, love doesn't mean a wonderful feeling and have great affection for somebody. It means unselfish, benevolent concern for another human being. Meaning love has nothing to do with you, but it's you making sure that another person is good and you taking care of them. And it was taken another step further, and this one we also have a hard time wrapping our heads around. Jesus went so far as to command his followers, that would be us, to love their enemies. Like the same thing I just said a minute ago, and all of you are probably thinking about people that you already love well. It's easy to think about our families and our friends and people we like when we talk about loving well, right? But that wasn't really the point. One another meant anybody that's not you. You've heard it said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. That was an actual code that the church went by. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes the sun to rise on the evil and the good and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. We're called to love people regardless of, well, them. And you and I don't really have a great concept of the word enemy. We think about enemies, we think about somebody who cut us off on I-75 when we're trying to get to the exit, right? We think of somebody who didn't hit like on our picture. We think of somebody who's rude at work. That's really people who offend us. And I don't read where it's ever a good idea to be easily offended. It doesn't bode well for anybody. Enemies back then could mean people who are trying to kill you. A little different, right? Now, some of you in here, you may have some people that aren't really on your side. You may think they're trying to kill you some days, but this was an everyday occurrence. And Jesus said, if you're gonna follow me, then you need to go legitimately love those people. You know those people that are trying to harm you and kill you? I want you to make sure they have enough food to eat tonight, make sure they've got a place to stay, make sure their kids are taken care of, and make sure that they know that they're welcome at your table in your house. That's what we're supposed to be known for. Whoa, changes the game when we look at it from a cultural perspective, doesn't it? This is the origins of the New Testament church. You know, they didn't gather like this, where we come to learn. They gathered at the dinner table. This is the first time in history, because that one command, that new command about loving people, being known for your love was this. The first time in history, everybody gathered together at the same place. There was no racial divide. There was no economic divide. There was no age divide. It didn't matter what language people spoke, what kind of food they ate, how they dressed. Socioeconomic class meant nothing. For the first time in history, everybody was welcome at a table of the Christ followers. Like, it changed everything. and they were known for it. This turned into like a really big deal. We ended up creating the first hospital from this. After the Black Plague went through and wiped out everybody, the Christians stayed and took care of the pagans, people who were against God, their enemies. Right after that, there were kids everywhere, didn't have homes. You realize the New Testament church started the first orphanage to love these kids well? Kids who weren't from their group? How great is that? This is where our church is known for. Now, let's fast forward to today. About to hit 2020. What do you think the church is known for? Man, just got uncomfortable. We were getting pretty psyched about it when the church first started. If we were to take a video camera downtown Atlanta right now and say, hey, I'm going to say some fun words. I want to hear your great reactions. Let's start with church people. What do you think? Oh man, the happiness will just get flowing. Make sure you have extra paper to write out and all the nice things they're going to have to say about church people, right? What about, and just start naming off church organizations. Do people feel like the church is a good thing right now? Why not? You see, this is where we're in conflict. This is where we're in conflict because our scripture, the reason we're here gathered as a faith group is off of one thing. We're supposed to be known by our love, right? The first thing out of anybody's mouth when we say, what do you think about the church should be, oh man, you know what? I'm not a part of one, but they are so kind. They totally took care of me and my family when X. They love so very well, right? You know, this is the marker of when people will come back to a church for a second time. Did you know that? It's not because the preaching was awesome. I never knew anybody who came back to a church the second time and came because of the guitar player. No offense, guitar player. Now, they may come back because the children's ministry is awesome. Those are my volunteers in the children's ministry that were laughing. And it is awesome, by the way. You know, I have friends who return to churches, any church, and they always say the same thing. I say, well, what did you like about it? Where do you think they start? The people were so nice. The people were so kind. The people were so loving. That's why we actually ended up at this church. That's why my family's here. We came, snuck in the back, and man, we were hit by 3 or 4 people on my way in, including whoever sat behind me, who leaned forward and said, hey, I'm super glad you guys came. If you need anything at all, let me know. Wasn't a greeter. Wasn't anybody that knew us, no nothing. Just somebody who happened to sit behind us. We couldn't wait to get back because we felt loved. Now here's the deal. If we are all Christ followers here and we're all actually known and famous for how well we're loving each other, just forget the rest of the world for a minute. Let's talk about just the people in this room. You ready? What if it was our goal to be very well known by how we individually love? Seriously, do you realize the impact that just this number could make? How crazy is that? And if every time somebody came in, new person, older person, doesn't matter, we just loved them very, very well, we'd have to find new parking for our church because the community is dying for that. What if we just started with each other? You see, our hour on Sunday should be a huge reflection of what heaven's like. People should want to come be in the presence of other Christ followers for nothing else other than their week was so hard and they could just come and be in a place where they're loved so well, where they're important, right? How amazing would that be? And then if we're doing our job, we're actually here for 2 hours because we're sitting, we're learning, and then we're serving and loving other people so other people can come in here and sit and serve and love. We switch. You see how that works? That's how heaven works. That's how the New Testament church works. You serve and you love, and that's what you become famous for. How amazing would that be? What would change in your life or the people's lives around you? Now, I have a quote I want to read from Dr. King, Dr. Bernice King. If y'all aren't following her, you are losing out every week. Last night, she wrote something and posted it, and it's been just changing my life ever since. I think she wrote it just for us today so we could have this service together. Don't make New Year's resolutions. Determine what kind of everyday human you want to be, and decide if that human will be for goodness, justice, peace, and love. And envision if that human has dreams that will lift humanity, that the moments, years, and minutes will matter. What if we did that? What if that's what we cared about? What if it really is the small things? What if that guy Jesus was actually right? That this may be the game changer. That's pretty cool. So You can hear this today and go about your day, and we'll be having the same conversation this time next year. Or maybe something sparked in you and like, you know what? Maybe I should be known for something different. What do we do about it? Well, it's really about just the small everyday moments to small everyday changes, right? And we just have to retrain our brain on how to think and respond differently to people. That's it. And some of you, if that seems like too much, start with really small steps, like this space right here, your word hole. When you see another human being, start by taking the edges. You can actually use your fingers if yours doesn't naturally do this. Lift it up at the corners when you make eye contact with people. That's step one. Step two, you can open the hole and say something kind. And if you're trying to figure out, what is this kindness you speak of? Start with these two words. Thank you when anybody does something nice for you. Or I appreciate you. Or hey, I'm glad you're here. Or anything positive helps. You might actually find it's addictive and start doing it more often. It'll end up being a game changer. So here's what we need to start doing. Get this, maybe you need to write this down. We need to get this in your heads. The one question that needs to keep recurring from your head as you get into this process of being known for something great, is what is it that love requires of me? What does love require of me when I'm talking to that person right there? I don't know that person. What does love require of me? Well, maybe to say hi. I do know that person. What does love require of me? To respond differently than you have been. You see, our response to people in the world around us has nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with them and everything to do with you in your relationship with Jesus Christ. Because we're called to be servers and lovers, not consumers, right? That's not just of things, it's from people as well. And if we find ourselves in a spot where we're not loving and serving, yet we're still coming on Sundays, we're just up in the stands watching. We're not participating in our life's calling and what we're supposed to do. And I promise you this, Jesus was on to something. Your momentary acts of kindness and love and serving, they change. They change people. They change the community. They change somebody's world. Everybody in here has been the subject of at least one person that gave one act of kindness or one word of kindness, and it changed your day. It doesn't cost the person anything to do it. What if we became a people that were like that? So make a list of things that you want to be known for this next year. And I hope that love's at the top of it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If this is new and you realize you don't want to be the guy or the girl who's known for, and you're trying to course correct, decide to be something awesome next year, it's going to be hard because people will remember your negative a lot more than they remember your positive. But every single positive counts. I have served this community for years in public safety. I was pastoring, and I worked in the fire department and the police department for years of my life. I showed up. I did not take sick days. I was the guy, if they called and on call all the time, I would show up. I've got a file this thick of letters from the community, of commendations from supervisors. I had medals that I had to wear on my uniform. I have awards from the state of Georgia for saving lives, for crying out loud. But one day, I'm out on shift serving the public in need. And they put a new road sign in the middle of the parking lot at my precinct at the edge of the road. Who puts a road sign in the middle of the parking lot? They go on the side of the road, right? And then they were eventually going to put some lines and make some lanes, but they put the road sign up first. I had not slept for 36 hours, mind you, because I was, say it with me, serving the public. And on my way into the end of shift at 2 o'clock in the morning, I pull in just like I've pulled in for years, and that sign jumped up out of the concrete and punched the hood of my car and went flying across the parking lot into the grass where it should have been the first time. Let me back up. I've spent years serving this community. What do you think they remember about me from that precinct? I spent years of my life serving this community. They don't care. 3 years later, I'm running around somewhere. I see one of my buddies who used to work there, and he's got a new officer riding with him. Now, years of my life. And he goes, "Oh yeah, this is Graham. He used to work at our precinct. You know that sign in the parking lot? Son of a gun!" So yeah, it could be a struggle that we're known for some of our negatives too, but you can also keep working on it. Be known for your positives because they're there. Everybody in here has such amazing potential to change somebody else's day. You could actually start today with a phone call. Maybe meet somebody new on your way out. Have some fun with it. It's called enjoying your life and making a difference. It's possible. And if we do it together, we're going to change history again. Because if you look back at the year in review, history needs it. Let me pray for you. Good morning, God. Thank you for your love and your blessings in this last year that we've made it through. Thank you for a people group that loves you. And pray, God, that this year you will help us to be known for something great. Help us to be a people group that's known for loving. I pray that all our homes here will be blessed by your grace and your peace. God, I pray for the individuals here that are hearing your word today. We will realign. We can order our compass back in the right direction. Then we will be known for loving well. That we will love our own people better. That we will love new people better. That we will love people we haven't even met yet as soon as we run into them. And that they will realize that there's something different about us that we love so well because we have been loved so well. And I pray for the individual here tonight, this morning, that is having a hard time realizing how much they are loved by you. And it's hard for them to turn around and go love others because they just can't grasp, knowing all that they've done and all they've gone through, that they are incredibly, immensely loved. And I pray that you would get into their soul and remind them that you do know them better than anybody else. And that's why you love them. I pray that this next year, God, that you would define West Cobb Church as a place where people will go and be loved very well. And I pray that you would return us to a people that have church in our homes, that we would invest in and invite, and we would be a part of new communities and new people this year. And we would reach out and look a whole lot like the Christ while we're doing it. In Jesus' name.